In the heart of Najd, Fedwa, a lady married to a high-ranking soldier at Mesmek fortress, was going about her daily routine. At high noon, a knock was heard at the door. Not expecting visitors, Fedwa carefully opens the door and greets an elderly woman. The visitor asks for Fedwa's help to guide her to the main well of the town. Fedwa decides to accompany the old lady. As they walk, Fedwa hears strange sounds coming from under the old lady's feet. She focuses on the source of the bizarre sounds and discovers that the old lady's feet are animal hooves. Frightened, Fedwa claims to have forgotten something important at home. Fedwa hurriedly returns and shuts the house door behind her. The old lady, following Fedwa, arrives at the door, finding it locked. Fedwa is nowhere to be seen or heard. The old lady aggressively strikes the door repeatedly, to no avail. In the evening, Fedwa relays the day's happenings to her husband. The soldier, not believing in such fantasies, ignores his wife. The next day, the old lady returns at the same exact time and knocks again. First with civility, and then with force and anger. No answer. Repeatedly over the next month, the same occurrence takes place. Fedwa complained and begged her husband for his belief and her safety. She turns to family as well. No one believes a word of her stories. One day, while returning home, the soldier observes blood on the path immediately outside his home. As he walks further inside, the blood trail leads into the sitting room. He calls for Fedwa. No answer. Following the blood trail outside his home, the soldier continuously calls and calls for his wife. As he approaches the main town well, at its foot, he discovers Fedwa's clothes soaked in blood, never to be seen again. Fedwa's story is one intended to instill fear. Fear not in adults, but fear in children by adults. This is a folkloric tale of warning that was told to Middle Eastern children from the 17th century onwards. The old lady in the story is called Hmarat al-Gaila. Hmara meaning donkey and al-Gaila meaning the height of noon when the sun is at its hottest. A time in the day when adults needed their siestas. A time when there was no one to control or supervise the children who didn't require the re-energization of a nap. Requests, suggestions, or inferences weren't enough for parents aiming to get children to avoid spending too much time outdoors during the midday. Conditioning the children consciously and subconsciously with fright was a key factor in getting them off the streets. This legend was told to those rejecting logical advice and was very successful in removing disobeying young children from the outdoors in noon when temperatures would rise to well over 40 degrees centigrade, thus relievingly avoiding dehydration or even worse, sunstroke. The typology of the old lady who instills fear is repeated globally in all cultures, but their true origins date way back to Greek mythology. Hmarat al-Gaila is a mix of two types of evil characters, the siren and the hybrid. The siren is typically a female that attracts humans to their demise, whereas the hybrid is a physically frightening animal-human cross with many different grotesque variations. In the instance of our legend, a human top half with a donkey's lower half. Greek mythology provides earlier versions of this type through Pan, a god who is in bestial form. With the lower half of a goat, Pan enticed humans to follow him to their death. He was also known for his anger and inspired panic during the noontime if his cherished naps were interrupted. Other earlier versions of the human-animal hybrid is the Ono-Centaur, a creature similar to a centaur, but part human, part donkey, characterized by having a violent temper and not enduring capture. Even in the book of Isaiah from the Bible, the Ono-Centaur is mentioned 4 times as a female demon. Further examples that precede Hmarat al-Gaila are the Deer Woman, a shape-shifting woman in Native American mythology, but with a deer's lower half. Bauban Sith, a female vampire from Scotland, said to have goat legs, who seduced travelers and drank their blood. There are at least 10 other similar legends that precede Hmarat al-Gaila, but the purpose for all was the same. The legend of Hmarat al-Gaila was a means to an end. Most folkloric stories emanate from a need to explain or solve something, by mystifying a logical reason or rationalizing an inexplainable occurrence. Children love to be outdoors, to play, to socialize and have fun, no matter when, but it was unhealthily hot and the sun wasn't merciful. Not to anyone. Something had to give, and creating a monster roaming the town during these dreadful hours was a solution. Roaming not only our towns, but also our psyches, as we still, to this day, use the title of the legend as a way to suggest to others that it's way too hot to do anything outdoors that might be outside our comfort zones. Modernity has made this legend obsolete. We no longer worry about our children being outdoors in the heat. Being outside, period, is a challenge for them and an infinitesimal part of their new lifestyle. Even when outdoors, it's within the comforts of air-conditioned transport, schools, homes, and malls. Obsolete is one thing, forgotten is another. What legends do you recount as elemental in your upbringing? If you have suggestions for a topic concerning folkloric tales of the Middle East, then please share them in the comments. Let's retell them, and remember why they were important to us in the beginning, and why they still might be important for our children.